2026 Lexus RX 450h Plus. This is their plug-in hybrid of their very popular Lexus RX CUV. And I think in this spec, the colors, the wheels, this looks very sharp in my opinion. This is going to surprise you though when I get to the pricing. But first, let's talk about the powertrain. We're powered by a 2.5 liter inline four that is a plug-in hybrid with 304 horsepower combined. It is all-wheel drive. The engine powering the front and the electric 100 pounds, 112-inch wheelbase, strut front, multi-link rear with electric power steering, 85 mpge combined with electric and gasoline, and 35 mpg combined for gasoline only. And get this, starting at $72,000 as optioned, 78 grand. When I heard those numbers, I thought I had misread things because the Lexus RX has gotten a lot more expensive, that's for sure. Getting into the interior, it is a very nice place to be. The Lexus build quality. The design, I mean, it's the same piano black and bezels and, you know, the dial just for the temperature. I mean, love it or hate it, it is what Lexus is currently. It's very similar to Toyota. I wish it was a little bit different, if I'm being honest. I don't think this is going to age very well. You can see the piano black, the curvature here, the shapes. They're not really timeless. They feel a little bit more trying to be trendy and kind of missing the mark, if I'm being honest. But I think the fit and finish, like the materials here, feel excellent. All the touch points. These doors are kind of annoying. These are electric doors, right? And as a result, what I'm finding is that you really have to slam the door. More often than not, I actually have not closed the door hard enough, and then I start getting all these beeps. This wooden veneer is not the most convincing as well, if I'm being honest. I was just in a BMW 2 Series that had, you know, the open pore, which was a lot more convincing. This just looks kind of like a sticker. This is a little bit better, but also not fantastic. But at least everything feels nice to the touch. We get into drive. We got the standard Toyota Lexus gear shift and the controls there. Let's make room for these gents. See, that's what you should be doing. Canyon etiquette, my friends. There she goes. That rattly little Atkinson inline four. But I mean, here's the thing. Most people driving these cars, they're not going to be pushing the car to even have to downshift or be at higher, because ECVT, not really downshifting, but, you know, be at higher revs in that kind of way. Most people driving these cars are going to be puttering around town, very peaceful, calm, and relaxed. And I've been driving this in Los Angeles, and as you guys know, Los Angeles is not always a great place to drive. You got traffic and the stress levels while you're just in the grid, constantly stuck bumper to bumper, not ideal. But I've noticed with Lexus products, they're just so serene and quiet and comfortable that it makes it so much more manageable. Imagine being in a Mazda Miata, which I own, versus a car like this, where you have the space, you have nice materials, you have the quietness, right? You're insulated from the outside world. And I find myself, after having a tiring or long or really jam-packed day, I hop into the RX and it's relaxing. It's a relief. It is this place that I can just let go a little bit and be at peace before, you know, encountering whatever I may need to. It is a very comfortable place to be. And here's the thing that really struck me. I've driven many Toyota products and many Lexus products now. I really feel that the tuning here of the suspension is actually very good, because what you have is a comfortable ride that isn't overly wallowy. And I find that a lot of Toyota products, they're still soft, but they have this really bowed, wallowy nature, and you can't really even get them to respond in a reasonable way at times. And I think here, because they have higher quality suspension components, they're able to get much better body control while still maintaining excellent compliance and ride comfort. The impacts are not harsh at all, and this is an RX, it's no sports car, but it's not quite as wallowy as a lot of those Toyota products. But going back to the engine, that's one thing that really struck me at this price point, because starting 78 as spec'd, this engine doesn't feel premium. It feels like it belongs in a completely different category of vehicle, because it is actually used by Toyota in other vehicles. And again, it depends on your use case, and I think many drivers who are never going to even push the car hard enough, never even try to accelerate hard enough to hear the rattliness that I elicited by getting the revs higher up, they may not be bothered. But if you are ever going to be, getting on an on-ramp a little more aggressively, get up to speed, you're going to feel that, you're going to hear that. And it doesn't feel premium, it doesn't feel the price point. So what you're really paying for with this Lexus RX 450h Plus is that Lexus build quality, that reliability. It's a known entity. You know what you're getting here, and you're not getting cutting-edge innovation, cutting-edge driving dynamics. You're getting a very solid, class, industry-leading hybrid system, which is going to be very reliable. It's going to work forever. It's tried and true. And you're going to get great fuel efficiency if that's your priority, with great reliability. But when it comes to driving dynamics, that's not what this car is designed for. It's not what it excels at. Which is ironic, right? Because now I'm driving it on these beautiful twisty canyon roads. And for those wondering, the steering is actually very direct and surprisingly sharp for a vehicle of this class. You wouldn't expect the front end to respond as quickly as it does. Again, it's no sports car, but I remember when I first hopped in, I was like, oh wow, the steering is sharper than expected by a notable margin. In standard Toyota and Lexus fashion, all the inputs are nice and congruent. The calibration is such that you don't have to really think when you drive. There's no strange touchy brake or overly fast steering. It's just very natural. Light steering weight, moderate steering ratio. The car does what you ask it to do. It's very easy to drive. And the tuning of the hybrid as well, getting between the electric motor, the gasoline engine, is also pretty seamless. They do it in a way that it really falls to the background and you don't notice it, other than, again, just that the four-cylinder sometimes revving up and having that rattly nature to it. Even with the brakes, the whole regen and standard brake, it's just, they've done this for so long, they've really perfected it, and it drives quite well. With the paddles here, we can shift it down into our simulated third gear, get a bit of engine braking. It's very plush without feeling floaty, and that's what I very much appreciate about this RX. The infotainment is easy enough to use. I do like that our HVAC at least has the physical climate for the temperature, because I normally just leave it on auto and then just dial this up and down depending on if I'm feeling too hot or too cold. I wish the screen bezels were a little bit tighter. They are quite large for 2026 standards, but at least the screen quality for both the gauge cluster and the infotainment is quite nice. Very good contrast, good black levels. So there you have it. A perfectly adequate, very comfortable, very efficient, very reliable CUV from Lexus. And I think if you're a driving enthusiast, this is obviously not designed for you. But if you're looking for something that is quiet, comfortable, is going to take the edge off after a long day of work, and you prioritize things like fuel efficiency, reliability, that, the things that Lexus really excels at, this is very much aligned with their other brand values. And I think there it has a lot to offer, but the big sticking point is, of course, the price, because for $72,000 to $78,000, this is a lot of cash for what this car is, and you'll have to decide if those things are worth it to you, or if you're better off finding some alternatives, either from the Germans or also at a lower price point from some other Japanese or Korean options. But my friends, let me know what you think of the Lexus RX 450h Plus with a comment down below. Thank you to Lexus for letting me review this RX 450h Plus over the last few days. Much love, and I'll see you all in that next one.